They always say that the way some last bonds, the way they believe. I mean, they behave. Sometimes they have these entitlement mentality, and there are some of us who are firstborn. We were born with carrying responsibility all along. Maybe the PDP has always known how to be firstborn, but now doesn't know how to be a lastborn now that is in opposition. But if PDP is to fix itself, what do you think could be done?
I think the leaders must come together to redefine what they want. And that, the redefinition cannot work for the 2027 elections because it's quite close. You need to redefine and then to
like a rebranding.
Rebrand is entire. It's a 360-degree thing, and it's not easy to achieve. Not with a politician at the helm of affairs in the center. This is the first time we're having a dyed-in-the-wool politician as president. He knows his onions. He knows all of us. He's been in the system for very long.
So it's going to be difficult to beat him.
It's tough.
Not even from any candidate from the north.
This is a man who has worked with everyone, who has been useful to everyone, who has had opportunities to assist governments. So beating him, uphill task.
Not even the PDP can do that. In that shape,
not in that shape. Yeah.
But that's sad.
It is.
Because if we ride on like that, without any challenge, the ADC said he's beatable. And El-Rufai said they will send the president back, and they will send him back to Lagos. And they've shown that there could be an incursion into the political sphere where the president plays well. Peter Obi has shown us that no matter where your forte is, you can be dealt with. And he beat the president in his own state of Lagos. So anything can happen. Do you see any surprises springing up? 2 years is still a far off time.
2 years is far off, but you see, there won't be surprises. Not too many. Yes, you will have votes, but they'll never come close.
Even with a Seyi Makinde from Oyo State, if you imagine,
he's a good man, hard worker. He has done so much for Oyo State, but Oyo State alone cannot come into this fray and make a difference.
You heard that Peter Obi is likely to return to the PDP. Yeah. Even with that,
the rhetorics of the last elections will not work again, except he comes with another gimmick. And you see, this is a politician, a man who knows the terrain well. My brother, it's tough.
Don't you find this quite funny? That every time they talk about Peter Obi, they are so vehement in the attack and in the way they describe him. It is so hard for you to hear this seasoned politician, so to speak, ever say that it's so hard to beat Bola Tinubu as long as the election is not free and fair. They always say it's hard to defeat him because he's a seasoned politician. And a seasoned politician in Nigerian system is a politician who is seasoned at corrupt practices. So what you hear from politicians or supporters of Bola Tinubu is always it can be defeated. Why? Inherently, they know that as long as the system is the same way, where vote buying is a thing, INEC rigging is a thing, using the machineries of government to rig election is a thing, they know that it's going to be hard to defeat Bola Tinubu. But they never say that caveat. They never say that. But when she wanted to describe Peter Obi's chances, she says that the rhetorics of the 2023 election will not work in 2027. And she says if for that to even work, Peter Obi has to come with a different gimmick, with a different trick. It's a negative connotation, by just saying a trick like that in itself is just gimmick. Really, you think that it's just on the surface, but negatively speaking, she's actually saying that Peter Obi has to come with enough style over substance that he has to keep giving people words, but not substance. But she forgets to tell Nigerians that the gimmick of the last election that won this current president, this office is sitting and occupying right now, except that gimmick is put in place again, which is what is going to happen in 2027, Bola Tinubu does not stand a chance. Because you know what? They never take into account that Nigerians will not vote for Bola Tinubu. They never say anything like that. Because when they look at the state infrastructure, they always look at how governors will help rig elections for the current administration. They always look at how difficult it will be to, for INEC to rig election, and how difficult it would be for the other contestant to contest the rigging, because they know that the court is bought already, and they know that the final arbiter of the decision is the court, and they know that as long as it's going to go to the court, the incumbent will win. So you see what happens? They say there's no chance. Because obviously you look at it this way: the person you want to defeat is the one in government, and that one will do everything possible, including snatch it, run it with it, stick the ballot and run away with it. It will do everything possible to make sure that works for him. So, but because Nigeria is a system where the vote of the people doesn't count, these guys here, when they come and make statements like this, they don't take into account the voters. They only take into account the system, the structure of the riggers, and how they will get away with the rigging. There are no consequences for bad behavior in Nigerian politics. As a matter of fact, the Nigerian system rewards bad behavior. The Nigerian system rewards rigging as against others who don't want to rig. So when you hear these guys make these conversations or make statements like this and says, Peter Obi has to come with a new trick, a new style over substance, that what he's going to be promising will just be style, all words and nothing to it. You don't say to Bola Tinubu, all the things that Bola Tinubu promised in his hope or renewed hope agenda, what has he been able to fulfill? Hunger in the land, security issue, food scarcity, economics crisis. Literally, we're going from one crisis to another crisis in Nigeria. Removal of fuel subsidy, and then we're borrowing even much more. When you look at a system like this, you just wonder why Nigeria is where Nigeria is today. We have a former senator or former lawmaker who should say that for us to have a fair playing ground, something like electoral reform must happen. The judiciary must be independent in order to defeat Bola Tinubu. But they're quick to say Peter Obi needs to come up with new tricks. You can see why Nigeria is not working. Because the people who have benefited from this theft of our economic, our political system, our electoral system, will never admit that they lost election. Because if they do, it will mean that they occupied the place that they occupied before illegally. So when you look at Senator Olujimi, the first thing you look at when you listen to this side of the tape all over again, you realize why Nigeria is where Nigeria is today. This is my own humble take on what she said. But again, you wonder why this constant attack on Peter Obi by seasoned politicians. Why is Peter Obi constantly getting the backlash and lack of belief, even as much as Nigerians want a change, but these guys will never give that chance. Is that not what you think as well? Put your thoughts, put your comments in the comment section. Let us know what you think. If you agree, because when you hear them speak, like I said, they never put a caveat to say, make the system fair. Make the electoral system fair. Make sure INEC is independent. And see whether or not Bola Tinubu is as strong as you say he is. But our politicians will never say so. But we know we want a change and we want a new Nigeria, and that must happen. Whether or not they like it, Nigeria must be different from what we've currently seen. And we must continue to speak up, because the change we want is for everybody, not for a single certain set of people alone. As always, put your comment in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and also subscribe if you've not done so. And remember to recommend this channel to others. I will catch you up in the next video. God bless you. Bye-bye for now.